I am the color red in a world full of black and white.
You're literally wearing the color red while I'm wearing black and white.
Guys, this is a wrestling podcast. I am DJ of the 3D Wrestling Podcast.
I'm Derek of the 3D Wrestling Podcast.
And I'm still your favorite WWE champion, by the way.
And it is officially WrestleMania week.
Woo! Can I get it too sweet?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm excited, man. But the first thing I want to get through is April 1st, WWE drops what I would like to say an amazing doc on the life of Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. Like, I cried. I was in tears. There's a good part of it where I was in tears the entire moment. They started talking about, you know, when Undertaker's narrating, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, he says nobody would know, and Bray wouldn't know that would be his last match.
That was rough to hear.
And I'm like, we were there at his first match back in the company since returning.
Yes.
At Madison Square Garden. Against Jinder Mahal.
I believe that was the post-Christmas show.
Yes.
Yeah, day after Christmas.
I think we did that like last minute too.
Yeah, we last minute just decided to go.
Let's just go.
Because we're huge Bray Wyatt fans. We knew he was going to be there. We had to go.
Man, he was a genius, man. A complete genius. Just damn it.
Just seeing his ideas, the layers that went into it, and he wouldn't always explain what he was doing. Sometimes you had to just do the work yourself to like sift through the lore that was going to his characters. But I'm not afraid to say The Fiend is my favorite character in all of professional wrestling.
100%. 100%.
Just the creativity, the presentation. We always say presentation is key when it comes to pro wrestling. Everything about it, his entrance, his lantern, there was nothing like it.
Presentation is key 100%. And I do want to talk about more presentation a little later because presentation is key. And we had a debut on SmackDown, or a re-debut or a reintroducing of sorts to one Jade Cargill. And I do want to talk about that. I also want to talk about The Rock's presentation. Presentation is key. But listen, if you guys have not seen the Bray Wyatt doc on Peacock, this is not a plug because it's not like we're getting paid for it. But I truly would like people to see that man was a genius, man. And it was great.
I cannot recommend it enough. You'll cry, most definitely, but you will most definitely be entertained. There's stuff in that documentary. There's so many interviews, just voice spots that are taken just from so many different wrestlers that you've never seen before or never heard before. That's brought together in that doc. Just seeing all the wrestlers, past and present, that he's touched, that feel inspired by him. It's just a tremendous documentary.
Yes. Round of applause.
And
I mean,
rest in peace to Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I'm sure you feel the exact same way.
For sure, man. So that started and kicked off WrestleMania week, and I would say WrestleMania week started off with a bang, maybe a big bang. CM Punk goes on the MMA Hour, right?
All right, let's talk about it.
And tells his experience of his time in AEW. We learned a lot of stuff we speculated on.
Yeah.
He kind of like confirmed a lot of stuff. Where do we start?
It was a very long interview. I believe just shy of 2 hours, about like an hour 50.
Right.
And he talked about a lot. He talked about coming into WWE Survivor Series. He talked about everything from Brawl Out to All In last year.
Yeah.
The inception of Collision, him supposedly not loving the idea. I do have my opinions on some of what he said.
Okay.
But we could get into that further.
Okay.
So where do you want to start? There's a lot.
Tony Khan is not a boss, but he's a good guy.
That was a quote. Him saying that was, to me, him saying the quiet part out loud. And forgive my voice, I'm extremely stuffy and sick, so if it sounds like I'm Mike Tyson, that's why I sound like that.
I'm Mike Tyson. I'm gonna make you love me.
I sound like a warrior. I sound like Mike Tyson. I'm sorry, my voice sounds like that.
I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander.
But that was like the quote of the entire interview, because I've been saying for such a long time that Tony Khan doesn't sound like a real boss. He sounds like when it's time to make the tough decisions, he doesn't ever step up. He's too concerned with being nice. There's always even been like a long-standing opinion that he doesn't even fire people. Obviously, that seemed to change a little bit lately.
Well, listen, it changed because somebody said something.
Same day it changed, funny enough. But for a long time, it was believed Tony Khan didn't even fire people. He would quietly wait for contracts to run out and not even really be too communicative when that happened. Just quietly let it run out and then cut off all ties with them.
How do you feel about Punk talking about with his injury, he had to come out of pocket and pay, and nobody contacted him for 6 months. He ended up going to the WWE doctor.
Sounds like amateur hour. Like, it sounds like something that like an indie would do. Like, oh, what? Like, you didn't contact your so-called biggest star that you're going to give an entire show to on Saturday nights. You're not in contact with him when he's injured for, 6 months?
I don't know, man.
It just sounds like ridiculous. It's little things like that, and I don't enjoy. I feel like I say this every week. I don't enjoy criticizing Tony Khan and AEW, but it's like little things like that. How does it not even occur to you to stay in contact with your biggest star or any star? It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a CM Punk. It could be somebody like fucking Griff Garrison or somebody who's injured. You should still be in constant contact with your talent to let them know that what their status is within the company. I can tell you want to say it. Go ahead and say it.
Who the fuck is Griff Garrison? Nah, man. Yeah, no, but you're right. 100% you're right. And it's just, that's unfortunate.
It is. And it goes again to say that this man isn't being a boss. He's being a friend to everybody. And I'm sure that's why some people love him. I'm sure to a lot of people, that's what makes a great boss. Not everybody in AEW is upset. Not everybody in AEW is miserable. Some people have a great time. And I'm sure it's because they feel like they have a friend in the office that helps them out when they need to, who overlooks certain wrongdoings when they need to, who doesn't confront them with the uncomfortable conversations when they need to be had. Punk said it himself. And you could believe it or not believe it, but when he says he confronted Tony Khan and All In about the issues that he was having with Jack Perry, what was Tony's response? What do you want me to do? That sounds like something a nice guy would say. What do you want me to do? I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to yell at him.
Or somebody who doesn't know how to run a company.
Somebody who doesn't
run a wrestling company.
Run a wrestling company. I'm not going. Yeah. I'm not a businessman. I'm not a business major. I'm not going.
I mean, the Jaguars are doing well financially.
Pelham? The soccer.
Yeah, the soccer team is doing well. So it's not like he doesn't know how to run a business, but being the head at this position just doesn't seem like it fits well.
I would presume even in those cases, I don't know. I'm not going to claim to know, but I would assume even in cases like that, he delegates at least some responsibilities to other people. He seems to be where the buck stops when it comes to AEW. And that just doesn't seem to really get the job done when there's all these issues that seem to happen all the time. And it doesn't even have to do with CM Punk. We see them seemingly every month with Sammy Guevara getting in fights with people. This stuff happens in AEW, and we never really hear resolutions happen. And it's just something that's going to continue to happen as long as I'm not backstage. I don't know, but seemingly Tony Khan doesn't put his foot down and become a boss to these people.
Well, yeah, no, he's delegated that responsibility to Bryan Danielson.
which is I guess like fine in small doses, but you're not going to have that respect of your locker room and your talent when you're giving that responsibility to the boys.
I agree.
They can be intimidated by your Bryan Danielsons, your Moxleys, your Joes, whatever locker room leaders you're going to have. But when it comes down to you laying down the law, nobody's ever going to listen to you.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. What followed the Punk interview was Rhea Ripley's interview, which was cut short when Becky Lynch comes in. How do you feel about them running the angle on?
I enjoyed it, actually.
Okay, all right.
I thought it was fun. I actually liked what they did with that. How did you feel about it?
I enjoyed it.
Right?
I enjoyed it. I feel like the last few weeks, their rivalry has really heated up.
Yes.
Like, where it kind of needs to be going into Mania. And then Cody was on. And Ariel really I like him as somebody who's not afraid to ask those questions.
I like the questions that he brings up. He brings up tough questions, and I appreciate that.
I text our group chat right away and said, Cody is so good at answering questions. Like, just the way he talks. He's so good. But I think today was the first time we kind of got a hint of what happened backstage at AEW.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, my guess is it had to deal with Brandy, his wife. Because he kind of went on, saying that I don't want to misquote him, so I'm not going to. But I'll paraphrase in a sense that for what she's done, he used the word scapegoat.
Yeah, he feels that she's been a scapegoat for a while.
Somebody said something to her backstage. And it's funny, I always look into these things. Anytime he mentions AEW and he says he's still friends with these people, Matt, Nick, Kenny, 9 out of 10 times he leaves Tony's name out of it.
I noticed that too.
He leaves Tony's name out of it. And even in this interview, he goes on, he starts naming more people, and then he says, and Tony. Ariel also asked him, because he signed the extension, right? Did it cross your mind at any point, like, hey, maybe I'll go back to AEW or anything like that? And with swiftness, the quickest answer I think I've ever seen him do, he said no.
Yeah.
Like, flat out. Like, this is exactly where I need to be. This is exactly where I want to be. And essentially, I feel like he's saying there's nothing over there for him.
And I don't think there is. Yeah.
AEW, this is like the weird thing, right? The world, WWE, need AEW to survive. Right? Mm-hmm. WWE is, I think this week, when you get to SmackDown, is going to be somewhere like either the 14th or the 15th consecutive sellout show.
For WWE, yes. This past Monday on Raw,
was 13,
in Brooklyn, heading into WrestleMania, was their 13th consecutive sellout.
Friday sold out, Monday sold out. So you get 15 consecutive sellout shows. Realistically, for me, that doesn't happen unless AEW's there. However,
why, out of curiosity?
So, as a science teacher, this is the perfect time I can use this. I love, cross-curriculum. We were talking about ecosystems, right? Less resources breeds competition, right?
Uh-huh.
At one point, WWE had all the resources.
Yeah.
The shows weren't great, right? They weren't selling out consistently, but they had all the resources. There was no competition. That was that dark era between maybe 2010 to 2019.
That's when it got really bad.
Yeah. Right? Good WrestleManias, good stuff going on, but just overall,
week-to-week television
was not good.
Abysmal.
That starts to change when WWE's resources start being pulled. AEW comes in and plays a role. Now, they're taking resources away from WWE. So in a sense, what I'm talking about, this is WWE's ecosystem, right? Less resources breeds competition. In terms of the industry, though, AEW provides more resources now, right? More wrestlers have an opportunity to go and make some money somewhere, get on TV.
Yeah.
So, in the world of WWE needs AEW because it makes them better.
It pushes them to be better. Okay, that makes sense.
So, that's what we've gotten. Now, for whatever reason, AEW has the big stars, the great wrestlers, really good matches, but for the life of week to week are not selling out arenas like they were in 2019, 2020 you had the pandemic, 2021 when they went back on the road.
Yeah.
That era of AEW was sell out.
Yeah.
WWE week to week is sell out. 2 shows. In addition to that, though, like, if they're not selling out, there's 100 tickets left. And it's been like that for a while. So you see the changing culture of what happens when, like, WWE needs AEW, and that's what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
AEW is not doing well with ticket sales. And brings me to this next point. WWE is selling out 16,000 plus for arena. AEW is doing that for a pay-per-view. WWE is doing that for a week-to-week television show. Like, there's different levels. And, like, I don't want to, like, shit on AEW or AEW fans for those who just strictly follow AEW. But their only thing is, like, but what about Wembley? And I'm like, well, WWE can also go to the UK.
Yeah.
And do the same numbers, if not more. And they do it once a year with WrestleMania. So it's like AEW has to find a way to get back. I just don't see a path for that. But enough about Wembley, man. I want to talk about presentation real quick because it plays a major role, right? Let's start with Friday night. Jade Cargill is officially a member of SmackDown.
Yes.
And entrance alone was just,
it was out of this world.
She feels important. She feels like a star. She feels huge.
One night being on the main roster, officially signed to a roster, she has maybe the second best entrance in all of WWE. Maybe all of professional wrestling, to be honest.
Really?
She is only behind the final boss, The Rock. But those are 2 prominent black wrestlers that have the 2 best entrances in all professional wrestling, and I don't think anybody even comes close.
That Rock entrance gets better and better every week.
It's like he adds a little something to it every week.
Every week. It's really amazing.
Look, we're watching it in real time, like him evolve.
Like,
to go from wearing the Versace shirt to then the Versace vest, then now he got like the cowskin vest. Like he's turning more and more into Hollywood Rock every week.
He's so good at what he does. Like, I feel like I needed a reminder of just who the hell The Rock was.
I think they even talked about it a little bit within like the Ariel Helwani Cody Rhodes interview that happened today. That I think he asked him, did Cody know that The Rock still had this in him? And Cody gave an answer. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was me paraphrasing, something to the effect of that this doesn't go away. Strip away the Hollywood status, the movies, the Terramana, all of that. At his core, The Rock is a professional wrestler. And you can spot a professional wrestler a mile away, and he's always going to be that. And I feel like that's what's coming out right now. He can be Dwayne Johnson. He can be this, that, and the other that we all see in the movies. But when it comes down to it, The Rock knows how to be a wrestler. And The Rock loves being a wrestler. You can tell every week he loves being a wrestler.
Still there.
See, it's still there.
Every week.
Every week. He shows the camera the goosebumps he gets every week because he loves this.
Such good shit.
And the presentation is there. And yes, he gets a little bit of leeway. He gets to curse a lot more than the average wrestler does. But it all goes to his presentation.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
He's cursed. He drew blood. AEW does the same thing at a much higher pace. The Rock doing it. Like, those words feel so much more important. That blood felt so much more important because it's not used every week.
We can circle that even back to what CM Punk was saying in his interview about AEW. How a business can't thrive or survive on doing so much so often.
For sure.
You can do things in small doses. Your company can't be solely focused on doing the biggest thing every week. It can't just be focused on having great matches every week. There needs to be something more to it. You need to be interested in drawing a house, drawing tickets, drawing viewers. If you're just going balls to the wall every week, you desensitize your viewers. Yes, people can consistently tune into AEW and love to see like great wrestling, but it's not special. The Rock isn't doing anything special.
Just whooping Cody's ass.
He's just whooping Cody Rhodes' ass. Cody Rhodes went through a fiery table in AEW. He's bled in AEW. He's been whipped in AEW. All this has happened to Cody Rhodes in AEW, but it doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't at all.
And it's a shame.
Yeah.
It really is. But I'm enjoying seeing it on Raw. I'm enjoying seeing it on SmackDown because they make it feel special. Presentation, everything.
Everything. Top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
I mean, even Ricochet, like, I'm back involved.
I'm tapped in. I'm
tapped in. Like
on
on some real shit. Like, that match he had with JD, and this brought up another point, especially in the IWC, where he does that Canadian Destroyer spot, and everybody's talking about it because it felt like a moment instead of the week before on ROH television. Jack Cartwheel, no offense to Jack Cartwheel, does a cartwheel all the way up the ramp, right? They're trading cartwheels into a Canadian Destroyer. Like, I feel like that's just too much.
It's too much.
It's just too much. And in that sense, like, they're really working in AEW. They're working an indie style show. And I believe I was listening to Bully Ray talk about it, but he's like, what they're doing is acting like there's not another week to extend something, right?
I actually love that
so
way of putting it.
They're going balls to the wall like you would on an indie show because you don't know if you get the same crowd. But in terms of AEW, you'll get the same crowd the next week. Those people are going to tune in. So you don't have to do this big spot here, right? You can do these small spots week to week and then are going to lead to a big spot on the major show.
Because that's payoff.
That's the payoff. Like, love Will Ospreay. Since he's been on TV, he's had these very high intense matches, right? They feel epic. He had a match tonight and I was just like, I feel like I've seen all of Will Ospreay. And like, him being in New Japan, it was special. Like, you see him once every 2 months, something like that. Seeing him week to week and going at this rate is just like,
you're gonna get desensitized.
And I feel like I already am.
So early on, like we watched his match with Will Hobbs, and I don't even know what move I can even call what he did on the top rope. It was phenomenal. He's an extremely talented wrestler, but the flips and turns, I saw him come down. And it's like, okay,
It doesn't do anything.
I feel like presented differently, that probably would have been like a blow-away moment if that was something that was pulled out like once in a blue moon, like a pay-per-view. I'm like, oh my god, he can do that. But just seeing him go balls to the walls, give 110%, and I know it sounds almost a little bit weird to reject somebody giving 110% every week, but seeing that every single week, it's just like, okay, then...
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's Will Ospreay.
That's AEW.
Yeah.
But it's Mania week.
It is Mania week.
And we have a weekend ahead of us. We will be going to Philly on Thursday.
Yes.
I'm excited. There's so much wrestling going on. You got WWE World. You got WrestleCon. You got NXT Stand and Deliver. You got 2 nights of Mania. Don't forget Friday night. You got SmackDown. You got ROH happening. You got the Hall of Fame happening.
We got the litany of GCW-based shows happening.
Gosh, Clusterfuck. Fucking Joe
Bloodsport,
Janela's.
Partners,
Yeah, DDT is a part of that. They're called the Collective.
They have Effie's Big Gay Brunch.
Right. You got For the Culture.
There's just so many shows.
So many shows.
We can't even keep up with all of them.
You got Wrestling Revolver doing a show with House of Glory.
Yes.
Man, it doesn't get any better.
It doesn't. I love Mania Week.
I
There's
love
nothing
Mania
like
Week. But let's talk about a show we will personally be at.
Yes.
NXT Stand and Deliver. Man, let's get into the card. Let's pick some people. All right? Maybe some hot takes. Some more fire, some more flame.
I'm down.
Let's talk about it. So,
Hold on.
let's get into some predictions for NXT Stand and Deliver. Saturday, 12 o'clock. We will be there in person. I'm excited. Let's start with Joe Gacy versus Sean Spears. I believe this is happening on the Countdown show. Man, Joe Gacy is home in a sense. He is a Jersey boy. Started wrestling in, CZW, that area.
Evolve area.
Right.
Those types of... yeah.
How do you see this going? Because I'm happy to see Sean Spears on a takeover again.
Yeah. I'm excited to see him back. I'm glad he's back in WWE. I'm glad he's back in the fold. With a match like this, I feel like Joe Gacy, for lack of a better term, is kind of like a crash dummy within NXT. He takes like those sick bumps, goes balls to the walls, and almost maybe scratching the surface of a modern Mick Foley.
Okay, I was gonna say, can I offer you? He's the Mick Foley or Mankind of NXT.
Yeah, and I think that gives him a role and it helps him get over. But I do think with that, he never really wins much. So I am going to have to predict that Sean Spears walks away with the victory.
Can I ask you if he's gonna take a share shot like that Mick Foley would take?
Yeah, I think he
That's
does.
nasty.
What do you think?
I think he wanted this match. I think he's happy to be home. I think because there's a new regime in WWE, I think the hometown hero is going to get that W.
Okay.
I think Joe Gacy's going to win.
So we're already starting out disagreeing.
Joe Gacy's going to win.
Okay.
All right, next. You got Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy.
Izzy Dame.
Yeah. I want to say the baby faces are going to win. But here's a hot take for you. I'd seen the look in her eyes recently. I think Fallon Henley's going to turn, bro.
You think Fallon Henley's going to turn heel?
100%.
This is interesting because it doesn't seem like it's her story to turn. It's Thea Hale wanting to get revenge on JC Jane, but I do feel like these other pieces of the puzzle are here for a reason.
For a reason.
Because otherwise it would just be Thea Hale versus JC Jane. So you know what? I'm going to agree with you 100%. I'm going to say the baby faces lose, and it's because Fallon Henley, if not because somewhere in the fold Fallon Henley turns heel, either during the match or after.
Okay. All right. I see. We're on the same page.
We're on the same page with that. I like that take.
Listen, you're going to get your wish at this stand and deliver. Big, meaty men slapping meat for the North American title. Obafemi,
Ooh.
Dijak,
Ooh.
and Josh Briggs.
Ooh. Love this match. This is for me personally.
Listen, if you know me, I'm a fan of Dijak, man.
You are a fan of Dijak, and he's been singing Dijak's praises for a long time. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the vision the whole time. But I see it now.
I think he's gonna pull some shit off. Oba's destined for a lot bigger things.
Nah.
I think Dijak walks away with the title, but Oba doesn't get pinned.
Nah.
I think Dijak walks away with the title.
I can't. I'm sorry, bro. I cannot co-sign that. Not yet. Not yet. I think Obafemi walks away with the championship. He just won it. I feel, or maybe has it been that long? I feel like he's won it still relatively recently. I don't see him dropping it anytime soon.
I think he has some bigger fish to fry.
Plus, I think Dijak's skin complexion might be a little too light for the North American Championship.
I mean, Adam Cole held it first
Yeah.
before it became, wrestling's for who? But listen, then you got the NXT Tag Team Championships. Listen, I'm excited for this match. Axiom and Nathan Frazier, high speed, high velocity, high flyers, versus the War Dogs.
High Velocity would be a cool name for them, actually.
That would be
That would be a really cool name for them.
Hire me. I tell y'all week to week. Hire me. This brain up here, something in that noggin. But the War Dogs, man. Also, huge fan of Baron Corbin. If forever, by the way. So I don't want to hear anything. But they're dropping the titles. Easily dropping the titles.
Braun Baker has 1 foot out the door. He's officially on SmackDown right now. They're dropping the title.
Does Baron Corbin, after the title, hit him with an end of days, send him on his way to SmackDown?
I wouldn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
NXT Women's Championship match. Roxanne versus Lyra. Now, I know you're not big on Lyra.
I'm not.
I think she retains because I think Roxanne is headed up.
Same exact prediction for the same exact reason. I still think Lyra Valkyria has something to show more, and she's still kind of in the midst of her overarching storyline of having her stalker. When I don't think her story is over as being champion right now, so I still think she retains it. Roxanne, she's done all she could do in NXT. I think she's going to get called up. As soon as probably the night after WrestleMania, to be honest. Raw, SmackDown.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
Then you have your NXT title match. You have Ilya Dragunov versus the Don, Tony D'Angelo. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. This one's a toss-up.
It's a toss-up for you.
This is a toss-up for me.
I like what they've been doing with the story. I really do like that they turned this storyline into a bit of a mob movie. I really like the way they promoted Tony D'Angelo. They did a really good job with it, but to me, I still think Dragunov easily.
Let me ask you, who takes the title off of Dragunov then?
I don't know. I spent some time looking through the NXT roster and thinking, who would I trust to take the championship off of Dragunov? An easy prediction would be Trick Williams, because I think no matter how this may go between him and Melo, I think Melo's on his way up as well.
Right.
And I don't think Trick is going with him.
Okay. Yeah, well.
So Trick is going to remain in NXT. He could be that. And aside from him, who remains? Maybe Obafemi? If your prediction goes, he does have bigger things ahead of him, and it'd be nice to see him go against either Dragunov. So there are options there. Oh, do you have any predictions of who may take the championship? It could be Tony D'Angelo, but do you have any predictions of who may take the championship off of Dragunov?
I don't have any predictions.
Okay.
I know who I would like to see as NXT champion.
Okay. Who would you like to?
Lexus King. Lexus King. I am so invested in this character.
I forgot about him. I forgot the yeah.
I'm so invested in this character. I think he is an asshole. I think he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
But he plays the role so well.
I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad at seeing him do it.
Bruh, I think that would be fun.
That'd be fun.
I think it would be fun. See him bother Ava. I
She
think it
already
would
hates
just like it would be hilarious.
I'd like it.
Lexus King, guys. And then it's gonna bring us to our main event for the first time in NXT history.
But just right before we move on, so you do believe that Ilya's going to retain?
Ilya's gonna
retain. Okay.
If he doesn't retain, he's going up to the main roster.
Okay.
And he's gonna win the Intercontinental title.
And Gunther streak. Okay, interesting. Before we get to the main event, and you don't have to have any, but I'm just curious. Do you have any predictions for any debuts or any returns or any appearances that will be happening at the show?
We're gonna get a little bit Triple H influence, and we're gonna pan to the crowd to see Tama Tonga.
Tama Tonga. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot.
If he doesn't show up at the end of Dragunov's match.
I like it.
For the first time in NXT history, 2 black men are main eventing a pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call it. Carmelo Hayes, the hottest rising star in NXT today, Trick Williams. Who do you have?
I'm really excited about this. This is probably my most anticipated match for the weekend. For the weekend, yes. I'm talking about bigger than WrestleMania. I'm really excited for this.
Because the what?
Is this the first WWE pay-per-view that 2 black men are main eventing? I can't think of who that they would be if not these 2. And I mean main event, like last match. I can't think of anybody else.
Can't think of anybody else.
But it might not be, because they specify NXT. I gotta go with Trick Williams. It's his time. Carmelo Hayes has done all he could do in NXT. I think it's time that he gets called up. Similar to our predictions for Broad Breaker and Roxanne Perez. I think these people have done all they could do. It's time for them to elevate the younger talent. Not like the younger talent, not like the older statesmen or anything like that. But it's the new mainstays in NXT and move on and leave the territory on their backs as like the
elder statesmen of
yeah.
NXT, although they are all very young.
Yes.
I like it, man. I'm rolling with Trick. Wow, I'm excited. I'm excited to be there live.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to yell, whoop that Trick.
I'm going to be screaming off that Trick.
I might ask Booker T for an autograph. I'm excited. But that's NXT Stand and Deliver, 12 p.m. on Peacock. Pre-show starts at 11, I believe. We will be there live and in living color. Yeah. That's Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
Then get a small break, right?
Yeah.
Mosey on over, go to the tailgate. For WrestleMania, Saturday night, night 1. This night is... I'm excited for this night. All the championship matches may be on night 2, but night 1 just seems like a fun night.
Yes.
So, we talked about Stand and Deliver. Tomorrow we will talk about WrestleMania Night 1 and 2, a show that we are excited about. We will be live from the hotel doing that.
Yes.
Maybe we should do a predictions on live too.
You just said something.
I like it.
You might have to do that.
I like it, man.
Yeah, I like it.
So, y'all can catch us in Philly this weekend.
Yes.
All right.
We're gonna be moving all around. We're gonna be at Wale Mania. We're going
For sure.
to be at, I don't even remember the exact name of the West Side Gun event that's gonna
The
be
Hills
happening.
Have Eyes.
There you go.
We're
gonna be WWE World. Probably gonna pop into WrestleCon. We're just gonna be moving all around.
We might do some interviews. We might try to meet up with some people. Who knows? But we will be there this weekend. So with that being said, I must bid you adieu. I am your forever WWE champion. I am DJ.
I'm the co-host of the Forever WWE Champion. I am Derek.
This is a 3D wrestling podcast. And with that said, goodbye and good night. Bang. Deuces. Ooses. We're out. Guns up.
We've done it.